All right, thanks for joining us right here on the 24 Plus stream. I'm Scott Mattis. Memphis Mayor Paul Young and Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis are holding a press conference on their latest crime-fighting initiatives completed by the Memphis Police Department. Now, this press conference comes, of course, after the FBI Director, Kash Patel, made a very bold statement about Memphis on national TV over the weekend on Sunday. Now, he called Memphis the homicide capital of America. City officials are holding a press conference about this. There's been speculation on exactly what is going to be said, but in his statement, Patel said, "I didn't know until my confirmation process, but Memphis, Tennessee is the homicide capital of America per capita. We're now addressing it. We are rolling out one of our task forces to the state of Tennessee." Now, this comes after the Memphis Shelby County Crime Commission told ABC 24 News that the rate of major crime fell by nearly 9% this year compared to the beginning of 2024. We're talking about the same time frame. Now, Memphis City Council Chairman J.B. Smiley claims he welcomes the FBI's help if they keep their word, but only if they keep their word. Now, Smiley believes getting the guns and those gun switches off the streets, well, that should be the top priority for everyone.
The laws that are being put forth just lead to a series of guns in our community, which ultimately leads to lives lost. And that's what's more troubling to me.
That was, of course, J.B. Smiley. Now, I can tell you that in a statement sent to ABC 24 News, Memphis Mayor Paul Young said, in part, MPD has always collaborated with federal agencies on addressing violent crime. We're encouraged by any effort whatsoever that brings more resources to the city of Memphis. He goes on to say, we look forward to learning more from our federal law enforcement partners. All right, continuing coverage now. There has been plenty of reaction since FBI Director Kash Patel called Memphis the homicide capital of America. And now the Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy is weighing in with a very clear message about crime and progress right here in the city of Memphis. He said, in part, violent crime in Memphis is unacceptably high. However, the trend continues downward. DA Mulroy goes on to say that he's long acknowledged, of course, crime is a major problem right here, but stresses the city is making progress. He says there's no data he's seen that justifies calling Memphis the homicide capital of America, but adds there's still a lot of work ahead to make people feel safer right here. All right, once again, thanks for joining us right here on the stream, right here on 24 Plus. What we're waiting for right now is a press conference. A joint press conference between Memphis Mayor Paul Young and Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis. Like we've been talking about, this press conference was originally supposed to happen at 2 o'clock. Then we got word through a press release from the city that it would be moved up to 1:30. It is now 1:43. Almost 1:44, and it has not started. But I can tell you that while we are waiting for this press conference to start, our very own Kevin McNamara is at City Hall where this press conference will take place. And once again, if you're just joining us, this is going to be on what they say is their latest crime-fighting initiative. But the timing is a little suspicious because this comes after, over the weekend on Sunday, Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, went on national television and called Memphis the homicide capital of America. And then also breaking today, the Department of Justice announced that they are not pursuing any more investigative powers against the Memphis Police Department. You might remember shortly after local incident that gained national attention with Tyree Nichols' death, the Department of Justice essentially opened up an investigation into the Memphis Police Department. Their findings, they were many. But again, today, this is breaking news, and we'll have much more coming up tonight on ABC 24 News at both 5 and 6 o'clock. Yeah, we're having a little problem with the scroller here. But what I can tell you, our very own Kevin McNamara is live at City Hall where this press conference is supposed to take place. And once again, the timing is a little suspicious because, as we just talked about, the Department of Justice, they have decided to stop investigating the Memphis Police Department. And then the FBI Director, Kash Patel, went on national television and announced that not only was Memphis, or is Memphis, the homicide capital of America, he went on to say he's going to send a task force to the state of Tennessee. And we don't know exactly when that will happen, but we understand it should be in the coming months. Now, I can tell you, Patel says he will take more than 1,000 FBI agents out of Washington, D.C. and put them on the streets across the entire country. But he says in a statement with an emphasis on the city of Memphis. We now want to go to ABC 24's Kevin McNamara, who is live at the press conference. Do we have Kevin? No. Okay, Kevin is standing by, and we're also waiting for this press conference, of course, to start. And like I said, if you're just joining us, both the Memphis Police Department and the mayor's office. So we're talking about Chief Davis and we're talking about Memphis Mayor Paul Young. They're holding a joint press conference that was supposed to start at 2 o'clock. They moved it up to 1:30. It is now 1:46 on a Wednesday mid-afternoon. And you might remember in April, the Memphis and Shelby County Crime Commission told ABC 24 News that the rate of major crimes like murder, rape, and robberies fell by nearly 9%. If you want to be specific, 8.8% this year when compared to the same time frame of 2024. Now, Memphis City Council Chairman J.B. Smiley tells me, he actually told me on Monday, he welcomes the FBI's help. The FBI's help, that's very important, if they keep their word. But he stresses getting the guns and those switches off of our streets should be everyone's top priority. Let's go back to FBI Director Kash Patel. He says, once again, if you're just joining us, he will take more than 1,000 FBI agents out of Washington, D.C. and saturate the country with them. And he says he's going to put an emphasis on Memphis. Let's read part of what he says. I didn't know this until now, my confirmation process, but Memphis, Tennessee is the homicide capital of America per capita. That press conference is going to be starting shortly, but essentially what Kash Patel was trying to say is he didn't know that Memphis, Tennessee was the homicide capital of the United States. This is not breaking news to anyone who has lived in Memphis, Tennessee for a number of years. We've had that designation multiple times over the last 10 years. Multiple times. Now, one of the things that you have to put into perspective, Chicago gets a lot of attention because their homicide numbers, 500, 600, 700 sometimes a year. Ours aren't that high, but again, Chicago has 3-4 million people in the metropolitan area at the very least. The city of Memphis, just the city of Memphis, only has a little over 600,000 if my numbers are correct. So that's why they do it per capita. All right, so we're still waiting for this press conference to start. Once again, thank you for joining us on the 24 Plus app. Okay, so one of the things that we've been talking about is the FBI coming to the city of Memphis. If you're just joining us, we broke that a couple of days ago. The FBI is coming to Memphis. In the numbers, mind you. The FBI Director Kash Patel said this on national television, and that he's sending a task force not only to the city of Memphis, but all across the state of Tennessee, specifically West Tennessee. We don't know how many are coming here, but dozens likely. They're going to bring their strategic planning. I can tell you that. And just walking the streets and talking to Memphians over the last couple of days, I got a sense of overwhelming joy from the people who live here that the FBI is coming to the city of Memphis. All right, once again, if you're just joining us, the reason why we're bringing you this very special report here on the ABC 24 Plus app is because Memphis Mayor Paul Young and Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis. They're going to hold a press conference. I said this a couple of times. It was supposed to start at 1:30. Well, it's now 11 minutes, almost 10 minutes to 2 o'clock. So what I'm guessing is likely this press conference will start at 2 o'clock. There's a live look at the Hall of Mayors inside City Hall. Prominently displayed is, of course, the city crest. And in just a few short minutes, Memphis Mayor Paul Young and Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis, they will be standing at that podium talking about their latest crime-fighting initiative. These are not my words, folks. These are their words sent to us in a press briefing. Their latest crime-fighting initiative, that's singular, initiative completed by the Memphis Police Department. Now, I'm going to switch gears and say Memphis, well, activists say parents and the community leaders, well, they should be held accountable. Yes, they should be, and we've been saying that for years. You know, if you're just joining us, folks, we've got this press conference that's going to be starting soon. You're looking at City Hall right now. That's where it's going to be. I believe I'm on item 10, is that correct? Okay. Looks like things are starting right now. We're going to take this press conference full in just a second. But again, let's go back to this press conference. Memphis Mayor Paul Young and Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis
everybody.
Addressing the
We'll
crowd.
get started momentarily. Going to get the team up. So just give us another minute or two.
Okay. That's Memphis Mayor Paul Young. Of course, he just said their press conference will get underway in just a minute or two. This was originally supposed to start at 2 o'clock, then it got bumped back to 1:30.
Bring some on this side too.
And then
Oh, no,
now
we
it's
can't have it on this side.
8 minutes until
All
2
right.
o'clock.
Well, welcome
All right, let's take
everyone.
the
We
full-
want to say thank you for being here for this press conference. We have periodic gatherings where law enforcement agencies throughout the region come together. I want to thank the Mid-South Development District that I think hosted this meeting of law enforcement agencies. We have representatives from City Council that are here, as well as the U.S. Marshal's Office. We have law enforcement from Shelby County Sheriff's Office, Germantown Police Department, Piperton Police Department. The U.S. Attorney's Office is also represented here, as well as obviously the City of Memphis and Memphis Police Department. I know there was some news that came out earlier today, and you may have questions about it, so I figured I would address that. Coming straight out the gate, the news around DOJ, it really reaffirms the approach that we have already embarked upon. It does not change anything regarding our commitment to ensuring that there's integrity in policing. The task force that has been assembled will continue to work. And we will still continue to look for continuous improvement within our police department. Today we're going to have a little bit of conversation around some efforts that Memphis Police Department has been undertaking, but I want to just kind of level set some of the conversation. In 2023, Memphis had a devastating surge of violent crime. It resulted in us having 398 homicides in our community, the highest in our city's history. And this crisis demanded immediate and decisive action. So when I took office in January of 2024, I pledged to make crime reduction our top priority. We committed to a comprehensive strategy that combines law enforcement, prevention, as well as community engagement to make sure that we are reclaiming the safety of our neighborhoods. Under the leadership of Chief Davis, the police department has executed this strategy with precision and dedication, and you'll hear more about that momentarily. But they've put forth targeted operations with innovative policing methods, and they've yielded results. And I'm not going to misrepresent the issue. I want to be clear. We know that we have a crime problem in our community, but I also want everybody to know that we're turning the ship, and this is a very big ship. It's not a speedboat, and it's going to take continued and ongoing effort, but the ship is turning. 2023 was our highest crime year. It was not 2024, and it's not 2025. And we're working to ensure that by the end of my first term, that our officers are the highest paid in the region, helping us recruit and retain talent, and that we're continuing to push crime numbers down. We believe that investment in this space is vital to our long-term safety. A safer Memphis strengthens our entire region. That's why I'm excited to be here with our partners from across the region, from Germantown and Bartlett to South Haven and West Memphis. We know that we are stronger and safer together. And so I want us to talk about an initiative that's been underway that I think has been really impactful over the last couple of weeks, because I think it's important for the public to know how law enforcement is working to get results. In Memphis, we're applying relentless pressure through our most recent initiative, which is titled Rolling Thunder. This is intended to disrupt gang activity, recovering illegal weapons, removing dangerous drugs from the streets, and arresting violent offenders. Operation Code Zero, which you've heard of before, it's clearing drug houses and nuisance properties in high-impact neighborhoods. We recently established a fugitive task force in partnership with federal agencies, and we've captured some of the most dangerous individuals in the region. And I think the overarching message is that we want those who seek to disrupt peace to understand that we are not going to tolerate lawlessness in our community. And the era of unchecked violence in our city is over. There is unprecedented collaboration. I was just talking to officials from Germantown about the collaboration and the results that it's reaping around auto thefts, and how the law enforcement agencies are collaborating to make sure that there's direct communication amongst all of them to ensure that we're bringing people to justice. And so we're committed to sustaining this progress and ensuring that every resident feels safe. So I'm going to turn it over to Chief Davis, because I would like for her to talk a little bit more about Rolling Thunder. Afterwards, we'll take a couple of questions, but we have a council meeting in a minute, so we're going to ask the media, after we take a few questions, if there are additional questions for anyone here, will allow us to kind of break apart and just pull people to the side. But Chief Davis, please do come forward.
So good afternoon, and thank you, Mayor, and thank you to all of our law enforcement partners who are here, including our DA's office, U.S. Attorney's office, all of our council members. This issue is one that is very serious to us as a police department, as the primary police department for the city of Memphis. In recent press conferences and media releases, we told you what was coming. We illustrated, we explained what needed to happen in order for us to reduce crime in our city. We made it clear that violent criminals have gotten our attention and have gone too far victimizing our citizens. So today, we're showing you early results of what criminals can expect from the Memphis Police Department and all of our law enforcement partners. Operation Rolling Thunder, it didn't roll through Memphis quietly. It moved through this city, disrupting, dismantling, and disarming the people causing the most harm in our neighborhoods, and we aren't done yet. This wasn't random. This was intentional, strategic, focused. This was precision policing and deliberate collaboration. From April 23 to May 10th, we apprehended over 160 violent offenders. 50 of those are known gang members, shown here. These are the faces of violent individuals tied to murders and other gun violence, drug trafficking, auto theft, illegal weapons, and other crimes that destabilize entire communities. These faces are the drivers of violence in our city. So far, 10 people have been indicted on federal charges as a result of this operation, including 6 gang members. And we don't plan on stopping here. This is just the beginning, so let me reiterate what federal charges mean. In many instances, no bond, faster indictments, expeditious prosecution, and more severe sentences. And we owe it to the victims of crime in our city to continue working with our federal partners and our DA's office to pursue charges wherever possible. That's how we break the cycle, by ensuring the most dangerous offenders no longer have the opportunity to threaten our communities. Operation Rolling Thunder, it hit hard. and it made an impact. From January 1 to April 30th of this year, there were 30 gang-related crimes reported. During the course of Operation Rolling Thunder, there were 3 gang-related cases reported. In addition to the arrest, we removed 15 illegal firearms from our streets, including a Glock switch, which converts a handgun into a fully automatic weapon. Long guns, extended magazines, and Glock switches have no place in our neighborhoods, and we're working relentlessly to take them out of circulation. This illustration here is just a portion of the paraphernalia and other types of items and guns that were apprehended during this operation. We also seized fentanyl and other illegal narcotics, dangerous substances directly tied to violence, addiction, and overdose deaths in our city. Our focus is to stop the bleeding, not just to put a tourniquet or a Band-Aid on it, to stop the bleeding. That means removing what's fueling the violence, the guns, the drugs, and the money that funds criminal activity. And it means making sure the people responsible for this violence face real consequences. This is one of the many operations like it to come, and it only works through coordination and collaboration with all of the individuals that you see here today, including our organized crime unit that led this operation. Also the U.S. Marshals, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Germantown Police Department, Bartlett Police Department, the District Attorney's Office, the Shelby County Sheriff's Department, and other federal and regional law enforcement partners stood side by side with one goal, and that is to stop the violence at its source. And together, we are doing exactly that, and we are not letting up. A stronger, safer Memphis means a stronger and safer region, and that's why our regional partners are standing with us today. We are stronger and better together. To the residents of Memphis, we hear you, and we are taking action, not with words, but with results. Thank you, and I am available to answer any questions along with the mayor. Y'all been easy today. I'm sorry, yes.
Actually, Lee Smith with the Prosecuting Defender.
Yes.
You and the mayor have made a lot of noise about how artificial intelligence and new technology is impacting crime. How has that played into Operation Rolling Thunder?
So in Operation Rolling Thunder, the way we use AI in some of our investigations, it helps us identify vehicles. It helps us to identify the path of vehicles. We do not use it to identify people. We have enough information most of the time when we make arrests like this. We have enough information from camera technology and other technology to help us identify the individuals that are involved in crimes. But we are exploring how we can better use AI, not just in the Memphis Police Department, but in other areas of city government as well. Yes. So out of the gang members that we spoke of, 10 are still in and 3 are out right now. Yes, sir.
Mayor Young discussed the task force that is looking into police reforms in the wake of the federal investigation. Do you have an update on the progress of the task force?
Well, I know that the teams have been meeting. Judge Donald has been leading that. I can check in with her over the next couple of days. But at this point, the goal is to level set, to get more information on how the police department is performing, what are the policies and procedures, and educating the task force on those things as they dive deeper and figure out what types of recommendations they want to bring forth.
Davis, Louis Smith with Commercial View. When it comes to operations like this, how are we identifying areas? What markers are we using to say this is how we want to target one place over another?
So, and it's not necessarily geographical, in places, it's individuals. We are really trying to be laser focused on those individuals in the city who are committing violent crime. And once we identify them, because of the fact that they were involved in some recent act, whether it was a homicide or some other type of gang activity, aggravated assault, then we prioritize how we are going to go after those individuals, especially those who already have warrants on them. Most of these folks, none of these individuals are first-time offenders. None of these individuals are second-time offenders. Some of these individuals have more than 50 and 60 charges in their history, and these are career individuals that continue to commit violence in the city.
Did MPD target, these gang members that were mentioned, did MPD target a certain group, or were they from different gangs? Like, how did that?
No, we didn't target any particular group, because what we have found is that there's so many different groups of individuals operating in our city. Some of them are hybrid gangs, neighborhood gangs. Some of them are more traditional. What we're identifying are these individuals who would have the most serious types of offenses, whether it's carrying extended magazines, being involved in a homicide, being involved in a mass shooting, and prioritizing them based on the level of violence and danger that they pose to our citizens.
You know, over the weekend, Memphis made national headlines when the director of the FBI called it the homicide capital of the country. Have you had any discussions with the FBI? What kind of message do you think this type of operation sends to your federal department?
Well, we haven't had any direct contact with the director. We are talking on a daily basis with the FBI here locally, and they have committed to resources here in our city, and we're trying not to pay too much attention to those types of comments, and we're really trying to focus on making Memphis a safe place for everybody. Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. I do want to acknowledge our council members again, because they have a tough job. They're working on budget season. They came down to stand and support Chairman Ford Canale, Councilwoman Janice Swearingen Washington, Councilwoman Pearl Walker, and Councilman Edmund Ford Sr. So thank you. We would thank you all for being here. And you can feel free to pull somebody to the side if you have additional questions. Thank you.
See you. Always a pleasure seeing you at a city event.
Ezekiel Kelly on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, so that press conference just wrapping up right there, of course, as you just saw right here on 24+, Memphis Mayor Paul Young and Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis, well, they just finished up their press conference. It was about their comprehensive strategy to fight crime. Again, we told you that this was going to be about crime. We didn't know exactly what it would be, but it was about their comprehensive strategy on fighting crime. They said that we know we have a problem, but the ship is turning. And then Memphis Mayor Paul Young turned things over essentially to Memphis Police Director C.J. Davis to talk about Operation Rolling Thunder. Now, this is an operation that apparently has been in the works for almost a year, rather a couple of years, from April of 2023 until May. That's what we're in right now, May of 2025. They say there's been 165 arrests right here in the city of Memphis. They also said that they were targeting and will continue to target the most violent of the violent, the most serious offenders of the serious offenders right here in the city of Memphis. And that is what is representative of those 165 arrests. Now, I will tell you, they also made a very specific point that 10 of them have been now indicted on federal charges. Why that's important is because in many cases, if you are charged or rather indicted on a federal charge, you do not get bond and things become infinitely more serious for these criminals. Another point they made is getting guns off the streets. They got a lot off the streets. Kevin McNamara will have a complete wrap-up tonight on ABC 24 News at 5, but they said they got a lot of guns off the streets, and more importantly, they got some switches off the street. Switches, if you're not familiar, is a device you put on the back of a Glock, and it essentially turns it into an automatic weapon, like a machine gun. You've likely heard of those. Out of those 165 people that were arrested, Memphis Police Director C.J. Davis telling us that none of them were first-time offenders. Not a single one was a first-time offender. I can tell you that they had a message to Memphians. We hear you, and we mean business. Once again, ABC 24's Kevin McNamara right now is getting more interviews. He's going to have a complete wrap-up tonight on ABC 24 News at both 5 and 6 o'clock. But again, if you're just joining us, this press conference with the mayor and the police director was about Operation Rolling Thunder and Operation Code Zero. Operation Rolling Thunder, CJ Davis said, did not come in quietly, and it's not done yet. 165 people arrested just associated with that operation, targeting the worst of the worst, the most hardened criminals. None of them are first-time offenders. These are the people that are creating chaos on the streets of Memphis, making it so some of you are afraid to go outside. These people are now behind bars, but there's more to go. There's more people to get. All right, thanks for joining us right here on 24 Plus app. We're going to have much more tonight on the news at 5 and 6 o'clock. Thanks for joining us.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 24 Plus app everywhere you stream.